This morning I went and did the learn relating to 3.2, and now this would be the classwork practice, where I went to the practice section in Hawks and then looked at the examples, took a screenshot of them, and then going over the specifics and getting a solution relating to the lesson we had. So that's the protocol we'll follow. Now you might have this written out, or you might be just taking notes on this. You want to find out first, what are they asking? Find the linear function with the following properties. Okay, so here we have, and we're looking for a formula y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept, that we'll later write as a function property. And you can see they have it here. Now, we know that when x is 0, which is what they're saying here, our y coordinate is a -6. So this is the y-intercept. And we're saying that the slope of this is a -1. So with this information, it should be relatively easy to put it in this form. So our slope is going to be a -1 that we're not going to write. We're going to put the x there. So there's a 1 that we don't write. And our y-intercept is going to be -6. And that is the answer to number 1. Now in example 2, this is a two-step problem. They want you to find the slope and the y-intercept when it's in this function form. Again, it's best to put it in slope-intercept form. So what is our x value here? A -5, 6 is our slope then. And our y-intercept is a -5. So in function form, rewriting it so it's a little more familiar, what is our slope then? Well, it's what's in the m position, a -5, 6. And what is our y-intercept? Now, when we write the y-intercept in the software, we have to put it as an ordered pair. X is 0, and our y value is a -5. Now in step 2 of this particular example, they're also going to ask you to graph this. So let's make a little graph here. I didn't have one for this. Our y-intercept is a -5, so we put that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll be a dot there. Our slope is a -5, 6. So we're going to go over for a run of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from this position. And then now we're going to go up 5, which is right there. And then we make our line. And our graph will look, going through this point, I'm off a little. Sometimes they would ask you to list two ordered pairs and the graph would form. So this ordered pair is here, the y-intercept, and we also have the x-intercept then. That would be a -5, 0. That would be this point. And example 3 is very similar to what we've done. Here's slope-intercept form. Here's its function form. But putting it in more the standard way, 4x, negative 4x plus 4. The slope is negative 4, and the y-intercept is 0, 4. And then the graph of this is also a two-stepper. Plotting our y-intercept as 1, 2, 3, 4, a dot there. Now it's negative 4, in a sense, over 1. So we're going to go 1 to the left, and then up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to this point, and then draw our line. And it looks like so. Again, you could put the y-intercept as one ordered pair, and then this ordered pair here is over 1, so negative 1, 4, and then 4 more, this would be 8. Again, if you're not sure of something, you should be asking questions. And if I looked ahead, I would have seen I did sketch the graph here, and you could put it on this one here. And what they're asking you is put these ordered pairs in these boxes. When you do so, the graph forms. All right, let's go on to number 4. This will be a challenge. Now, I did include, I believe, 2 or 3 of these. This was featured in the Learn, and it involves a series of steps. Here, we're asked to find the Pearson correlation coefficient R, and it's in 4 steps, as we said. And this is the first of the steps, where here they want you to find the mean of the x values. So there are the ordered pairs. You're asked to find the mean. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Add that up, and then you're going to divide by 7. And then do the same thing for the y. So this first step is relatively easy, and x bar would be the sum of our x coordinates, which is 28. And remember this symbol here, it looks like a funny shape E here, is the sigma Greek symbol for the sum of something. So the sum of our x coordinates is 28. There are 7 items, which give us a mean of 4. In the y mean, the sum of the y coordinates was 40, divided by 7, gave us this long decimal. Now we're asked to round it to 6 decimal places. I have put 7 decimal places. So we go to the 7th, which is a 7. So the rule is if it's 5 or more, you drop it and then add 1 and make this 5 a 6. So this is what you would put here, and you would get it right. But now in step 2 and in step 3 and in step 4, they're asking you for the series of things that we asked in the, or we went over in the Learn, where we're using that system of the least averaged method to find it. Now, on each of these slides in the practice, there is at the lower part of the screen a tutorial that if you get stuck on something, you can click on that and take you through the series. On this one, this is the only one I'm going to do. I don't want this to be too long. And this practice is meant to acquaint you with what is expected when you do your practice and being able to understand what is given here. So in example 5, as you'll see in your booklet, It's asking you to write the function of this. And you might say, well, what are they asking for? Well, actually, they're telling you the x value here, which is a -6. And they're saying when x is -6, y is a -9. So this is in a sense an ordered pair. And here, when x is a -3, our y is a -5. So we have two ordered pairs, and we can use that to find the slope, which will be a -9 minus a -5, which makes it a +5, and then a -6 minus a -3, which makes it a +3, where our numerator now becomes a -4 over -3. So our slope then is a positive 4/3. If our slope is 4/3, what is the equation? Again, we can use slope-intercept form. Y equals 4/3 x plus b. Now, we don't know what our b value is, but we could put one of these ordered pairs into this system and figure out what b is. Here's the protocol for doing it. Let's use this top one here. Here our y value is going to be -9, and then 4/3. Our x value is a -6, and what we don't know is our b value. So here we could do some cross-canceling. 3 goes into there once, here goes into -2 times. So we now have -9 equals -8 plus b. So we're going to transpose our -8 to this side, where it becomes a +8. So this is -1 equals b. So the answer to this is example number 5 is f of x equals, our slope is 4/3 x, and our y-intercept is a -1. All of that from just this information. For number 6, we're asked to look at this graph carefully and find the function of it. That is, to find the equation of this line. So I've made it a little bigger so you could see it properly. I started the function form here. What can we fill in? Well, it looks like our y-intercept is at 0,3. So our b value here will be a 3. We've put the x there. Now we have to figure out the slope. And generally, is the slope going to be negative or positive? Well, it's going high, and then as it goes to the right, goes down. So it's negative. So we know that's negative. And then we want to see, where does it cross another grid point? Well, we have one there. And then right there looks like it's one there. Or, yeah, I think, or maybe it's this one here. Yeah, I'm going to change my mind and use this one. That's better. Here it doesn't quite go through, so it's up here. So I can count now over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On your graph, you'll be able to see it. So in a sense, it's -7 over 1. We don't write the 1. Yes, I think this is it. So here, going this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not quite crossing it there. 7. There you go. Okay. Now for number 7, they're asking us to choose. This is a multiple choice. Which graph would this be of? Now notice the form it's in. We can convert this to y. Y equals 9. This is in that standard form of y equals b. So b is our y-intercept. Y equals 9 is a graph of a horizontal line. So that would look like this one. Oh, let's see here. And they'd give you a variety of graphs to choose from. This is the one you would select. I didn't write them all out here. It would make the pages too long. But you want to know the protocol. Now, I wanted you to see the full example here. I'm going to make the screen bigger so you can see it in more detail. But what I've done is I've left the question, and basically what they want to find is the Pearson correlation coefficient, the R value. And we're starting you off. Here is the data. It's only 5 items. You want to find X bar. And I've given you the results here as the answer. Let me write it in. But you want to practice it so you can see if you can get the answer. Here it's going to be 10.8. And the Y value, Y bar, is 5.6. Now, that's step 1. In step 2, you're going to take these values, and I'll move it up, and you want to find delta X. Now, we went over the protocol for that, and you have to take each of these readings and follow that protocol that they're showing right here, where you take your reading, subtract it from your median for each of these values. And I have that written out here. So you can pause and write these answers down to see if in fact that's what you're getting. Then for the X, that would be the delta X. Then here is for the delta Y. Again, I didn't leave enough space there. Trying to keep the paperwork a little short, but these are the answers for your 5 values. Now, where did I get this from, by the way? I got it from the tutorial bar where they take you through these steps and gives you a chance to practice it. Now, in part 3 of this, they want you to find the sum of the product of these. And they're giving you the 3 boxes, just as we went over in the Learn. And again, you can see it in the tutorial. And these were the answers. Again, if I were to work all this out, this would take 20 or 30 minutes. I don't want this to be too long. You're going to have to do your practice and develop a protocol to get these. And then finally, to find out what the R value is, you're going to have to take these values from above, take the sum of this, divide it by, and again, you're going to have to be able to use your calculator well, the square root of the sum of this times the sum of this. This will give you a value, and that value, and I'll write it out big so you can see it, the data is there, is 0.726, as we see there. Again, this would take a long time to follow all the steps, but this is in your notes, hopefully, and you can look at the tutorial if you need more detail on this. Now, in example 9, they give you the data. They're giving you the formula. They say the slope is this. They want you to find what the slope is and the y-intercept. So here they're giving you a lot of the data. Let's make it bigger. They're telling you what x bar is right over here. Y bar right there. They're giving you the product and the sum of these. Here's the formula. And they found that the slope is this. And then when they used one of these points with the slope, they found out the b value. And they want you now to write the equation of this. Well, that would be function of x is equal to a negative 0.93 x, and then your y-intercept 8.43. Okay. All right, one more to go. Again, I'm not working all this out in great detail because it would take too long for me to do. You're going to be doing it. This is to show you what's needed to be done to get it solved. Okay, for our last item, number 10, we're given this function form. Looks like this. I made it bigger. And we're asked to find the slope, the y-intercept, and then later graph it. I put this here. It's not too great a line. But what do we do here? In fact, let me go to the whiteboard for this one. Well, we need to put this in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. And so one of the first things we have to do is get rid of these parentheses and get a common denominator here. Would you agree that our common denominator is 3? If we want to make this term with a denominator of 3, we're going to have to multiply it by a 1 in the form of 3 over 3. So this now becomes 15x over 3. Then removing this parenthesis just by changing each of these signs, this becomes a negative 3 plus, and that's over 3. Put each of these over the common denominator, and this would be a plus 4x over 3. All right. Now we have like terms. This is going to be, and I need to change this sign, which I forgot to do here. Sorry about that. This is a negative. Okay. So this is a like term. This is a like term. This becomes 11x over 3. I'm adding a negative 4x, and this, I get 11x, and this simplifies to a negative 1. Now it's in slope-intercept form. My slope is 11 thirds, and my y-intercept, is 0, negative 1. I can go back to my other screen now. And there is the protocol to get it. I just have to graph it now. This would be a negative 1 right here. Then I have to count up. Well, I'm going to go over 3. 1, 2, 3. There's 1. I go up 10 right there. So this is going to be 3, comma, 10. That second point. And that's all you have to do is put these points in, and the graph will form. And let me just make a line here to sort of indicate what it's going to look like. It's going to be from this point over 3, 1, 2, 3, and then up 11 positive slope. Okay, well, this ran just over 25 minutes. Hopefully helpful. It's going to take you a while to do this. Good luck to you.